Good morning, lovely people, on this Monday morning. And today, in our yoga class, we're really looking at how we find a sense of, I wouldn't say letting go, a sense of flow within us. We're kind of exploring each week a kind of certain quality that we can bring to our yoga mat and just see if it kind of cultivates conditions really to find happiness, wellness within ourselves. So this week, it's really looking at a sense of fluidity in how we approach ourselves, how we set that relationship with ourselves. Why do we need a sense of flow? Well, it's true to say if one doesn't kind of find that capacity to go with the flow, things get a little bit rigid in the body. There's that sense of, oh gosh, the body tenses. That doesn't feel so great inside us. On the mental side, on the emotional, mental side, or whatever, the stories get quite stuck. I think we've all probably got certain, trajectories that we tend to repeat to ourselves. It might be a story about someone. It might be the way we've set a relationship with someone. It can be a bit set in stone. It almost means that we can't go with the flow when we're with that person, see them, as it were, for the first time, give them the benefit of the doubt sometimes, and just see if that takes us to a new expression of the relationship, a new perception of that person, a new perception of ourselves in relationship to that person. So going with a flow, finding that sense of fluidity within us. We'll start with hands on the lap or on the knees. I'm using a mudra today, Jin mudra, palms facing up, Jnana mudra, palms down. Take your pick. And a moment to feel connection between your sit bones and the mat. Allow your eyes to shut. And down in your belly, become aware of that point of contact where belly responds, relates to the breath, where breath relates to the belly. Now you'll note on some physical level the rise and fall of the belly as you breathe. Also the inward expression of that contact of breath to body. Letting yourself drop into this still point. Your center of gravity. And make contact with your roots, your stillness. Knowing that this point is a point you can always return to when everything is in flux around you. When it's so easy then to get caught up in the flow of the mind, flow of life outside us. And sometimes and somehow get a little bit lost within that. Allowing ourselves to flow when we feel grounded. Bringing palms to the heart and setting your practice however feels helpful for you this morning, however you're feeling. And bowing down towards that intention, honouring it, honouring yourself. And then we're open eyes again. And eyes open. Still sitting, unless you want to move, of course. Take your arms out to the side of the body. And you've got them there spread out, palms facing down. And now, just let your arms float up and down. And we're going to follow this movement from the base of the spine up through the belly and out across the shoulders into the fingertips. And so your arms are moving up and down with your breath, with the flow of your energy. The next in-breath and out-breath, we plant the hands down on the floor, either sides of the body. Now breathe in and slowly rotate around to one side. And breathing out, rotating on that central axis of the spine over to the other side. Come back to the first side. Almost like you feel everything moving around you in orbit around that central axis of the spine. Back to the center line. Big in-breath, arms can float up. A big out-breath, hands can stretch out away from the body, fingers spread wide, and they're floating down, touching the earth. Another in-breath, floating up. And into out-breath, floating back down. And bringing your knees together now, we haven't done so, and we'll take the knees around behind you and you're riding on all fours in the body. So nice neutral spine to start with, bit of space between knees, between the feet and the hands. Feel your anchor points now on the floor. So you've got hands here, spread wide, you've got the knees, you've got the shins, fronts of the feet, and your spine lengthening out between those points. Out breath, tucking under your sit bones, spine will curve up to the ceiling, your head will drop. The opposite, sit bones tilting up, the spine will lengthen, the gaze will look up. Into your out breath, tucking under, and into your in-breath, lengthening through. Now start to move from one to the other, however you find your breath flow this morning. So if your breath is quite fast, then follow that fast breath flow. And if your breath is quite slow, you can follow that. We'll take a few moments, just moving, waking up the spine, waking up the body with the breath. Then coming into the last couple of rounds of breath here. We'll tuck the toes under, balls of feet underneath us, and we're lifting up on into down dog. Now just a breath or so to stretch out in your down dog. Just look down at the feet, up towards your hands. Back down and past the knees. Another in-breath. And we'll start to take our feet up towards the hands, to the top of the mat. And there we'll just fold down. Now, let your arms hang in front of you. You may need to lift up the spine a little bit so they don't kind of connect too much with the mat. And we'll just swing the arms from side to side. And following that swing of the arms, start to roll up and arrive into standing. And arriving in standing up at the top of your mat, we'll just kind of spend a few moments here in Tadasana. So first of all, anchor your feet. Really do feel the big toe pads, the little edges of the feet, the backs of the heels, both sides. So you feel the full spread of your feet on the floor, rooting down. Now, as you root down, you can lift up and into the core of the body. Again, connect to that point where your breath touches the belly. And feel the body. The body positioned around that point of connection of breath to body. Big in-breath. Let your arms float up. I'm going to do this for a few moments now. Out breath, the arms are going to float down. So take your own time, follow your own rhythm, floating up with the in-breath, floating back down with the out. We'll take a couple more. Last one together. And this time with the out breath, we're coming into a forward fold. Take the arms wide maybe, a bit of bend through the knees. Arriving there, next in breath, lifting up. Breathing out, but come back down again. And so on, rising, falling with the breath. And the next in breath, once you arrive up, let your arms sway over towards one side of the body. Now, arms swaying over to one side of the body, let them sway over to the other. And then we're going to swing them over and back over to the other side. So we're going to do the same here. And back over. Keep following your breath now from one to the other. Down across and over. Down across, over. Down across, over. And we'll finish on this side. Now from that stretching out there, take the arm that's kind of bent over out to the side. You've got both arms now, either side of the body, palms facing up. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out, arms back down to the side, sink into your feet. Come into chair. Breathe in and lift. And breathe out, sinking down. Use your core if your arms get tired. Feel that center of gravity, the still point within you. Next in-breath, we rise up. And we're coming back into forward fold. Find your way however you want. Arms just hanging down. Now swing your arms one side, swing them the other side. One side and over to the other. And as you did before, you're going to rock, swing your spine up and into standing. And your arms will carry on once you're up and standing, swinging from side to side. Feel the rotation through the core. And arriving back and standing, we'll shake everything out. Shake the legs out, Shake the arms out, the head out, shake, 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 shake. And then we're coming back into standing again. So right up at the top of the mat now, feet hips width apart. Again, find that anchoring down through the feet, big spread through the feet. Drawing up through the body, taking the shoulders back a little bit, gaze soft. Let your eyes shut. Find that still point again, deep within you, in your belly. Whatever else is going on the surface, the body around you. Feeling the body grounded, anchored with gravity to earth. Eyes open, a big in-breath, palms rising up. Riding into some salutations now, find your way down into forward fold. In-breath, offer your spine, back into down dog or all the way back into plank and lowering down from down dog all fours. We're riding cobra together, breathe in and out breath into down dog. Looking underneath your left armpit in down dog, take your gaze over to your right. Both sides again. A big in-breath, looking up towards the top of the mat, heels lifted, out-breath, feet towards hands. In-breath, off your spine, out-breath, folding, coming to rise, out-breath to heart. And arriving into another round with the in-breath, into the out-breath, folding, in-breath, off of the spine, back and into planking down or down dog all fours. In-breath, cobra, out-breath, down dog. In-breath, again look under each armpit and turn. Back to the center line, heel side, and out breath, feet up to the top of the mat. Offer your spine forward, breathe out, rooting up, lift up, out breath, hands to heart. Into another in-breath, big circle through the arms, and down into forward fold. Do drop out at any point if you need to have a few resting breaths off of the spine. Back into down dog or else into plank and lowering down. In breath, cobra, out breath, down dog. Now in breath, heels high, out breath, heels dropping down low. Again, in breath, heels high, out breath, heels low. Look forward, breathe in, breathe out, feet walk up or step up to the top of the mat. Off of the spine, breathe in, out breath, folding, coming to rise, breathe in, and out breath back to the heart. Slightly different this round, we'll start the same, big in breath, lifting up, out breath, folding. In breath, off of the spine, out breath back into down dog and down, or plank and down. In breath, cobra, out breath, down dog. And we're all meeting down dog now. Right knee now lifts up, little bit of bend through that right knee. Take it up to the core, foot's lifted, over to the left elbow. Take it over to the right elbow, big circle out behind you, and taking it back in again. We'll do one more round. So over to the left, to the right, out behind you, and dropping it back down. Riding in down dog, really root back into your heels now. Stretch out through the spine.
Into the other side. Left foot lifts up, foot's bent. Take it up to the core of the left knee. You can look down at it. Over to the right elbow. Over to the left. Out to the side of the body. Big circle around. And back to your center line. Another circle. Right to left. Around. And back to the floor. Root back into both heels again. Look out behind past your knees. In breath, dropping down all fours. Now, two options here. You can either come into a forward fold with your knees wide apart. If not, have a go at frog now, taking your knees out to the sides of the mat. Your feet are turned out to the sides as well, so they're perpendicular with the legs, a bit like a frog. You're going to very carefully slide your knees apart from one another. You're going to feel resistance across the groin. Make sure your pelvis is more or less above your, in line with the knees. You can come down on the forearms here, or stay up on the hands. A few breaths here, just opening out into the groin. Breathing fully, one more round. Now, take the big toes together if you are in frog, and from there you're coming into the forward fold where everyone else is if you haven't done frog. And we're always in forward fold, knees wide apart. Next round of breath, walk the hands back in. Well done. Take your knees now together with one another. So you're back into kneeling. Now, arriving in kneeling or any other seated position you like, swing the arms round. So right hand's over the left knee, left hand just behind you. Swing them round to twist the other side. Go from one to the other, rotating on the central axis from side to side. And you can move slowly or quickly. I'm moving quite quickly this morning, just I'm finding it quite useful to. But do go as slow as you'd like to. Just keep breathing fully though into your body. And we'll ride back, hands on the knees. Deep in breath, we'll lift up off the knees. Breathe in, stretch up. Now, your arms are connected to your spine here. If you kind of look in your little screen and you'll see that picture, you'll see the length up from the knees all the way through the spine, up to your fingertips. Holding that length, we'll start to draw the pelvis back. Arms still following the length of the spine. Draw the pelvis back, use your core as the arms start to come down. Keep the control, slowly, slowly. Arms to the floor. In breath, take the body forward, chest close to the floor. Breathe in. And out breath, closing upwards, drawing up and back. We lift back up on the knees. It's almost like doing a cat and cow. Vertically. Again, lift up into your arms, stretch up, breathe in, out breath, use your core to hold the arms up as part of the spine, an extension of the spine. As you start to come down with the arms, hands to the mat, and in breath, sliding the spine forward. And then curl in your belly, tuck under the sit bones, and draw the spine up. Well done.
So you're still up on all fours, up on the knees now. We'll take the left foot out to the side of the body. Take your hand underneath that left thigh and scoot the left thigh up and back. Left hand on the left leg, reach down. In breath, right arm lifts up and then over. Left arm will float up to join the right arm. Both hips are facing forward. Make sure you're not turning to the side there. As we did before, swing the arms over. So I think I did that the wrong way there. We'll take them over that way and over. Over the front of the body. And we'll pause there again. Left hand can come down onto the left leg and reach up and over the last couple of breaths. Right hand coming down to the floor. Anchor it down. Left hand can follow here. Right knee is going to come into your core. Again, we're going to do a little circle as we did before, that left knee. So left knee over to the right elbow, over to the left side, out to the side of the body, all the way around and back in. Over to the right elbow, the left elbow, out to the side of the body, and coming back in. One more round. And then stretch out your left leg out behind you, straight out behind you. We're coming into a side plank now. The anchor point is the right knee, the right foot, the right hand. Left leg will lift up, or lordy. Use your core, that still point here. Breathe in, take it down. Breathe in, lift it up. Breathe out, take it down. One more. Breathe in. And left hand will come down. Left knee will come down. And you've got a little bit of free movement now from side to side, opening out through the body. And from here, we come on to the other side. So you're lifting up your right knee now. You're taking it up to the core. Take it over to the left elbow, over to the right. Start to draw those big circles around with that right knee. And we'll do 2 more rounds. Over to the left elbow, to the right elbow, out to the side of the body, and back in. Plant the right knee, stretch out the right leg, out it behind you. Feel the balance point through the spine. If you notice there, I was kind of tilting, so make sure your pelvis is as level as you can. Feel the anchor point in your left knee, your left foot, left hand. In breath, draw into the core. Right arm lifts, right arm down. Right arm lifts, breathe in. Right arm down. Right arm lifts. Breathe in. Right arm down. One more. And take the right hand down. Right knee will come down as well. Take both the big toe pads together. Sit back on your heels and we come into forward fold. Sliding your hands back in. Come up onto the knees now and step out your right foot now out to the side of the mat. Lift up, we're into gate on the other side. Right hand comes underneath the right thigh. Scoot that right thigh up and back. Make sure you've got the levelness across the pelvis here. Right hand on the top of the right leg. Left arm floats up and then over. stretching up through that left side of the waist, down with the right hand, hips level with the long edge of your mat. Right arm will float up. Going to open up into the arms again. Arms swing down and over. Arms swing across and down and over. Down, over, down, over. And arriving back, right hand down to right leg, left arm stretching up and over. A couple more breaths in your gait. One more breath or so. And taking your left hand down to the mat, right arm will follow, both feet level, toes tucked under, and arrive back into down dog. Deep out breath through the mouth in down dog. Right arm will lift out behind you in your down dog, and then you'll stretch it all the way forward. Take it out behind you again, take it forward, out behind you, and forward, and out behind you. And just a breath or so there. Just easing into that shape with the right arm lifted so you're in a three-pointed balance in your down dog. Find the symmetry in the imbalance. Right arm down. So onto the left side now. Ease back into your shape, left arm out behind you. Swing it forward, swing it back. Keep going, one or two more rounds. And we'll end up with the left arm out behind us. Again, find that sense of balance through the body. Even though you're balanced on only 3 points. Left hand down. Enjoy having both hands on the ground here. Breath also more. And we'll lift up the left knee, out behind us, stretch out through the left leg. Bend the left knee in again. Take the left knee up towards your core, so forward through the body. We'll plant the left foot between the hands. Strong back leg. Let the back knee drop down. Big in-breath up into Anjaneyasana. Out breath back to the heart. Keep anchoring your back foot down. The back knee will take another in-breath. Lift up. Through the hands, out breath into the heart. One more. And out breath, hands to the heart. And we'll take the hands down. Now find your way back into down dog again. And then lifting up your right knee, keep it bent. Then straighten it out. Bend it again. And with the bent knee, take it up to your core. Let it hover there. And planting the right foot through between hands. Strong back leg. Start to lower down the back knee. Big in-breath, lifting up into Anjaneyasana. Anchor the left foot. Out breath into the heart. Another in-breath, lift up. Back to the heart. Another in-breath. And back into the heart. Hands coming down now to the floor and arrive back in your down dog. Now swivel onto the outer edge of your left foot, the inner edge of your right foot. So both of your feet are about to take a walk over to the right.
Toes are pointing in the same direction, off to the right side of your mat. Now swivel back to your center line, over to the other side. You're onto the outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of your left foot. Toes are pointing off to the left. Swivel over, back over, and one more. And looking forwards now, we're going to drop down onto the knees. And we'll just come for a few resting breaths back into child, arms stretched out in front of us. And in-breath, arriving back onto all fours. So you've got a choice here. You can either, we're going to come either, well, into some sort of version of moving in and out of side plank. The version we were doing before, where you lift up one leg, you anchor down into the other, in-breath up, you will feel the wobble. There's no way around it. Out breath, the hand comes down. Keep the back leg lifted, lift up, control it through the core. Come down. So it's almost like just letting yourself flow through the wobble, the discomfort of the wobble, the balance, and just feeling your way through it into the movement, into the flow, rather than the head getting involved, whether it's right or wrong, whether you're kind of doing it well, whether you're not doing it, whether you can do it, whether you can't do it. Just letting the body find its own rhythm. And move through that. So that's your one version that you could do. If you want another version, as we were just doing from down dog, kind of the preliminaries for side plank, onto the outer edge of one foot, the other foot's just stacked on top of it or just behind. In breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. Take your pick, a few rounds of breath. Say if we do 3 together each side. So let's start on one side. In breath, into the out breath. In breath, out breath. Actually, we're doing 2 more. And a final one. We're all going to meet back into a down dog or else onto all fours. Give yourself a bit of movement, a bit of space, a bit of rest, a bit of child if you'd like. And when you're ready to, we come on to the other side. So take your pick, what version you're doing, either into the low version, or else coming up, down dog, onto the outer edge of one foot, the other foot stacked behind, and we'll take a few rounds of breath there. Keep kind of making friends with the core, connecting with that still point within you. It's almost like the movement, the balance of the body is operating from that point, which helps to kind of, if you connect to it, the body move quite freely around it. That kind of makes sense. One more. And we'll take the hand down, arriving back to down dog, all fours. Deep out breath wherever you are, through the mouth. And we'll take one of more of those as well. Slowly find your way down to all fours. If you're not there, back into child, a nice small child this time. So you're tucking the forehead under, hands by the sides of the body. Take another 3 rounds of breath here. Hands to the floor. Find your way back up again into sitting. And we'll take the legs around and out to the front. Now, feet out in front of you. You can either have a nice kind of comfortable stance, a little bit of bend through the knees, toes maybe pointing away from you. You still have a bit of energy left. After all that, bring your toes back in towards you and just see if you can make the soles of the feet as flat as you can. So if you were to be tipped forwards, you would arrive in standing without any kind of gaps between the feet and the mat. Big in-breath. Lift up through the arms. Remember, arms an extension through the spine. Out breath, the whole spine floating forward, arms connected to the sides of the body, reaching out. And hands will come to rest towards feet, towards the legs. In breath, lengthen out through the spine, bit of bend through the elbows. Out breath, floating down. In breath, rising. Out breath, folding down. Few rounds of breath here. Check you've still got that contact through the feet. You're taking a quite active version here. And we'll all rest with a few rounds of breath in forward fold. Arriving back up into sitting and bending the knees, coming down onto your spine. So a few breaths now to move in and out of twist, arms out to the sides of the body, knees are together, feet are together, your legs like one entity. Drop them down to one side, your gaze towards the opposite arm. And over to the other. Take your time to go from side to side. Rotating the skull as you rotate the knees from side to side. Note how they both cross over the central axis. And now you can carry on doing that a few more rounds of breath. If you just want to cross one leg over the other, it doesn't matter which, nice tight cross. Take the knees to one side again. Over to the other. Just moving with your breath a few more rounds. With the crossed knees. Sliding back to the center line. We'll take the cross the other way if you're doing the cross. Over to one side and then the other. May well feel a difference from side to side, just going with your flow. Note how quickly the mind can get involved and try to make it better or adjust things. Just feel your way in and out, wherever your body wants to land. Note when there is a bit of tightness, a bit of stuckness through the mind, into the body. And we'll all end up, knees up to the ceiling, feet down on the floor, arms out behind the spine. In breath, rooting down into the feet, we lift up through the pelvis, chin away from the throat. Out breath, lowering all the way down. Another in breath, the chin lifts away from the chest. Lift up into your bridge. Out breath, arriving all the way back down. Another couple of rounds. One more round. And finding your knees now into the chest, hands over the shins, a bit of weight on the shins, so you really do press the knees into the chest, really open out into your lower spine. You may want to put a little bit of movement here, massage out the lower spine from side to side. We've got time for a happy baby here or anything else that you'd like to do before we come into Shavasana. And catch hold of the outer edges of the feet, the thighs, taking knees out to the sides. Either stillness or a little bit of rock. And feet together, knees together, feet coming down. And we'll just come into butterfly now. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides of the body. And you can rest the hands on the belly here. It feels quite nice to do so. Or anywhere else you'd like to. Arms coming to the sides of the body, knees can come up, and we'll stretch out the legs in turn. And you're arriving into Shavasana, well-deserved Shavasana.
Note the quality of your breath as you lie, body in stillness. Note the flow of breath into that stillness. Becoming aware of surroundings, the sounds in them, air upon skin, contact with the earth, and the space around you. When you're ready to bring some movement to the body, a little movement from fingers, toes, and the head. And in your own time, you then bend knees and roll over to the side of the body. And then find your way up and into sitting. So we're all meeting in sitting and just taking a comfortable seat for a couple of moments. Hands can rest on the lap and we'll let our eyes shut. Connect your awareness to the flow of breath. Flow of the body around you, your heartbeat, circulation, digestive system, everything in a state of flux and change. Feeling the stillness within that movement. Anchors we create to make sense of it. And into the flow of the mind, bringing palms together and bowing forwards. Greeting yourself. And greeting each other. And closing your practice when you're ready. Thank you.